Angry Bird. So we've reached the finals of the Normandy 44 Christmas Cup. Let's have a look at the tournament so far and how the two players made it through to the final. The final matchup we have is Wlochaty. I can't pronounce his full name, I'm afraid, so we will name him Wlochaty. I think he is used to that by now. And he is up against soloing Pixy, also known as Pixy in this tournament bracket. So Wlochaty's route to the final: round 1 he beat Scout Spirit, round 2 he beat Ziracure, round 3, or the semi-finals, he managed to beat Evelyn, who we saw had a great match against Herobert, and actually that win against Evelyn was very convincing, very quick win, and that puts him into the final. Soloing Pixy, well, he kicked things off in round 1 against Evelyn and actually lost out to Evelyn. That dropped him down into the losers bracket, and since then he's beaten Gardenia, Ziracure, Herobert, and then Evelyn again in his final match prior to the final. In his penultimate match, is that the right word? So yes, Wlochaty so far has played 3 games to this point, whereas Pixy, he's played what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to this point. Will that affect things? Is soloing Pixy going to have a little bit more match experience? Is he going to be a little bit more what's the word, warmed up? Is that the right word? And Wlochaty's very quick victory against Evelyn might actually have meant that he may have had quite a wait between his victory against Evelyn and the first match that we're going to see today against soloing Pixy. So let's have a look at the matchup. Wlochaty is on the left hand side in red. Today he's playing Festung Gros Paris, Festung Gros Paris, if that's how it's said. And soloing Pixy, he's on the right hand side. He is playing 2E Blindé, or the second French armoured. So the income curves: Festung Gros Paris, 75 points in A phase, 135 in B phase, and 125 in C phase. 2E Blindé, they start off very aggressively: 100 points in A phase, 110 points in B phase, and 115 points in C phase. So I would be expecting soloing Pixy, well, he has the income advantage in A phase, but then after that, no more income advantage. So he has to make phase A work for him, really. And if he's not in a great position at the end of phase A, I don't expect soloing Pixy will have a good time in this game. Let's just have a quick look at the 2 divisions. The players I see there, very quick to put units down, so I've got to cover these quickly. The biggest thing for Festung Gros Paris, the infantry tab. Lots of infantry. Those ROEs, very strong. Only 3 units apiece in phase B, but they are very good units from what I remember. And the Bavierungs, if I remember right, very strong units. I think there's around 15 men apiece. I may slightly be wrong. So I think Wlochaty hasn't necessarily gone for numbers, but he has gone for the strong units. And in terms of 2E Blindé, they haven't got a lot of infantry, so he's not going to have a massively hard time. He is probably the best infantry micro player, certainly in this tournament, I would say. Definitely, I think, on Normandy 44, and he's certainly very good at his infantry micro. What else is of note? Well, the Panthers in phase C will be particularly difficult for the French to deal with, and the Tiger as well in phase C. So 2 Tiger E's, a Panther, a BF Panther, and then 4 Panther G's. Wow, the game is going. We've got to very quickly talk about the French. The biggest point, and very little infantry, no C phase infantry whatsoever in soloing Pixy's deck. 2 AM M8s at the very start in A phase in the recon tab. He's also going to be relying on the M10 tank destroyer and then plenty of Shermans. So he has to do it in phase A. Let's jump into the game and get things going. It looks like both players are pushing strong up north, and I'm kind of surprised Solo Wing Pixy hasn't gone for a more dominant playstyle over the airfield, as he has the income early on. Wlochaty does have the Puma to use, and these can be great vehicles. Looks like the M8 has stopped, and I think potentially engaging some of the infantry you can see across the field there. The flamers are into the buildings. Very intense action so far. Wlochaty's got a very good strength around this northern area. The flamers go down. The smoke was not able to save him. So Solo Wing Pixy, he looks very outnumbered in the north, but Wlochaty pretty weak elsewhere. So Wlochaty has used his initial income to match Solo Wing Pixy strength for strength. The IG-18's potentially in trouble to the Nueve, but Nueve pull away. This is very tight. The Bavarians, 13 men there. I don't know whether they have lost some units, but more of them are pinned down. And the M5A1 half-track may be able to get the early kill. Yes, does get the early kill on the AT, but do go down to the Felgend Armory with the heat grenade there. Or potentially it was the Bavarians actually. No, well, they have the heat grenade as well. I think it was the Felgend Armory. And very nice kill there from Wlochaty. And actually it's opened up this top side. But with the coverage over the airfield, it's still a 50-50 right now. The M8 Spahi down in the centre ground needs to do some decent work, as well as the WC-52s. Some of the infantry's gone down, and that's not good for Solo Wing Pixy, because he doesn't get a lot of infantry to start with. The Puma, big kill, very big kill on the M8 there from the Puma. That's going to give this Puma free range, takes out another WC-52. Solo Wing Pixy needs to get that out of the way. Yeah, down goes the third. Wow, that Puma has just absolutely wrecked face. The bazooka might be able to save Solo Wing Pixy here, but he's lost a lot of his initial starting units. It looks like the infantry on the southern side have gone down. That's given Solo Wing Pixy a massive boost of territory. But there is the Panzerschreck here, and it looks like the M5A1 is going to come straight into Panzerschreck range, and that may well go down. Looks like the Pioneers engaging the Bavarians, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins that one out. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the M5A1 half-track in the bottom ground. It looks like the Pioneers are going to win out that battle, potentially going to get the surrender. Yes, in comes the Panzerschreck kill. That's going to hurt Solo Wing Pixy, but he is, at least the Panzerschrecks are revealed, so the Nueve will be able to push forward. That gives Solo Wing Pixy currently a +1 advantage, despite losing a massive number of forces in this northern side. He does have the advantage due to the push across the airfield, and this is what I was saying about, I was kind of questioning why he didn't put more resource into this airfield, because right now it's his for the taking. Get an M8 down here, get an M4 down here, and there's not much else that's standing in its way right now. Potentially that will mean that Wlochaty will have to switch focus, but a nice 50mm mortar attack going into that heavy forest, allowing the Bavarians to pick up the surrender on the Pioneers. The M8 shooter wounding the Puma. That Puma's in trouble, backing away and allowing the shooter to come back from that wound, potentially heal up the wounds. There is a Char M5A1 as well as an M8 Spahi here now, so that Puma is outnumbered, but Wlochaty using some expert micro to keep that Puma out of trouble. The Pioneers do have the forest and should hold on to the position unless the 50mm mortar does come in with some additional shots to help out. The Felgend Armory are there to keep the Bavarians from surrendering, and we do have another set of Bavarians, yes, revealed in the buildings on that crossroad, potentially in trouble, especially with the M5 coming around the corner. I'd like to see Solo Wing Pixy use the M5 to get that Bavarians, because they're moving forward for a grenade onto the Sherman. Wow, massive kill, fantastic grenade from the Bavarians. Hopped out of the building, waited for the M5 to get closer, hopped back in, used that anti-tank grenade. That's one dead M5 Sherman. What a kill there from Wlochaty. This is Wlochaty at its best. at his best, sorry. The micro Normandy 44, a lot less units on the field. It definitely rewards top class micro, and we're seeing that today from Wlochaty. The Panzerschreck coming in to further put hurt onto any vehicle play on this northern side. And Soloing Pixy, I feel like he needs to switch focus into this airfield to maintain his attack. He's lost a lot of units, but he does have a +1 right now, and is getting the victory tick. In comes the mortar attacks, but a little bit too late. I think, although the Nueve moved right back into that mortar attack, currently pinned down, I'd like to see Soloing Pixy potentially try and recover them. The Voltigeurs moving in, but Soloing Pixy's got to be low on infantry at this point in A phase. He's lost a hell of a lot of infantry. Down go the Nueve to the surrender, but also the one-man squad that was there also went down. So the Puma is engaging the M8 Spar here. We do have a AT gun coming up for the French. Ooh, transmission damage on the M8, the cannon 57mm. That should really tip the odds into, yes, the Puma goes down. That did tip the odds into the favour of Soloing Pixy. The Bazooka need to get out of there, and beautiful movement of the M5 half-track up to cover the advance of the Bavarians. Getting rid of that Puma has really helped Soloing Pixy, and that's going to give him a chance to get back into the game on this northern side. The M5 half-track engaging. Just got to be worried about the Panzerjäger 35R here. Potential for that to get into play. Nice surrender on the, I think that was the Bavarians there. Very nice surrender. Soloing Pixy might be making his way into this game, and he needs to get back before really B phase. He needs to get a substantial lead in A phase, because after A phase he's going to have a big income disadvantage. Pioneers are finally caught out in this heavy forest. I'm kind of surprised the 50mm mortar hasn't got involved more, but it's actually out of ammunition, and Wlochaty bringing in another 50mm mortar, and that potentially could put at threat the rest of Soloing Pixy's units. And I think as soon as the Landersutsen make their way across the airfield, Soloing Pixy's going to lose a lot of this territory advantage that he has. A Pack 40 coming in there as well to engage any armour that comes down there, but nothing there so far. Soloing Pixy, I think, hasn't traded fantastically well early on, and I think this puts him in a pretty bad position. Despite his +1 lead advantage right now, I think Wlochaty has traded very well at the start of this game, and potentially that may be able to be enough, despite the fact that he is losing by +1 right now. It is only 9 minutes into this game, but Wlochaty has traded exceptionally well, maybe able to pull off a pretty decent quick victory. We're going to have to see how Soloing Pixy takes the rest of this game. The Bavarians, potentially all they need to do is move forward to reveal the bazooka, and well, they do start firing on the cannon 57mm there, and do move out of their position to continue that assault. The Panzerjäger 35R still in play, firing down onto the half track, but not quite getting the kill. Nothing happening on the southern side yet. We do have a M5 Stuart coming into play, which could potentially offer some more support for Soloing Pixy, definitely recovering some front line. He did lose the +1 tick, and we're not into B phase yet, and more Pioneers into play. Looks like the Bavarians are attacking the Voltigeurs, but there's enough here from Soloing Pixy, I think, to pick up the victory in this point. Needs to run. Ooh, yes! Unbelievable, fantastic infantry micro there. The way that Wlochaty just pushed forward that Bavarians to get the AT grenade off. Let me see whether I can capture that. I'm not sure whether I have actually managed to capture that on the replay. Let's just see whether I did manage to get that. Right, yes. Did we manage to capture that in time? Watch the way the Bavarians push forward just for a moment to get off the anti-tank grenade. Look at that, pushing forwards, the anti-tank grenade gets off, and then back into play. Unbelievable micro. Wlochaty has managed to pull back the Bavarians, and the Panzerjäger 35 comes down to the southern side. Well, no, there's a second Panzerjäger 35 in now, and the half-tracks can't stand up to him. Another bazooka being ordered in. The M8s do manage to pin down the Bavarians, and actually, well, it's only this Panzerjäger 35R right now that's keeping Wlochaty, you know, keeping the threat there onto the M8. So So Lone Pixie not quite out of this yet, but he's definitely going to have a bad time from now. Wlochaty has the 135 point income. Down go the Panzerschreck there. Nice kill from the Volticures, I think. And the Chart M5A1 is able to get into play, but taking an internal fire from the Panzerjäger 35R. Ooh, still able to be in play, but now having to fall back. The Panzer 35R will get another shot at it and should be able to get the kill, surely. If you can get another shot on target, I would expect a kill right now. Yes, finally gets the kill. And job done, good play there from Wlochaty. Wow, look at this M5, managed to spot the 50mm mortars, and they are fully resupplied. Well, they are fully supplied, so Wlochaty, a bad micro there, leaving those mortars exposed. Does manage to recover and actually didn't lose a man there, so wow, Wlochaty managed to recover that, but in come the Bavarians into the building. The grenade gets off, and down goes the M5 half-track. Fantastic infantry micro from Wlochaty. Absolutely superb play. Looks like Solo Pixy going for the surrender with the half trap. Will he be able to avoid the Panzerjäger 35R? I think he does just give up on that after seeing that Panzerjäger. But the bazooka is moving forward. Should be able to get the shot off against the Panzerjäger 35R and potentially can get the kill. Let's hope that bazooka can get the kill. We have got an off map in now. The OP M4A2 155mm off map. That bazooka's in perfect position right now. Panzerjäger moving forwards. Can the bazooka get the shot off? Yes, there is now the sight. Wlochaty needs to reverse that Panzerjäger. Oh, missed the first shot. The bazooka's in trouble now. But the Panzerjäger still coming forwards. That bazooka is going back, reloading, coming forward once again to get another shot on target. Will it get the kill? No, misses a second time. Unbelievable. Reloading once again. Will he get the kill on the third attempt? But the Panzerjäger is actually reversing into the off map here, so that off map may also get him the kill. So Pixy retreating the bazooka there, doesn't want it to get taken out by that off map. But the Panzerjäger 35R still in trouble, and I think Wlochaty must have had sight of that off map because his infantry suddenly did start retreating. So I think he must have had somehow had sight of that M4A2 off map. That kind of gave him the indication that off map was coming down and to retreat that position. Oh, lovely 50mm mortar strike right on top of that bazooka. That bazooka is in massive trouble right now. If one of those strikes gets on target, he could well be going down. Oh, so lucky right now to be avoiding that mortar fire, and I think potentially, yes, he should be okay there. Just switching down to the sun side, not too much movement, but we have got a spar troop in now, and that should help spot units for Wlochaty. And if there's nothing anti-tank wise comes down to protect this airfield, then I think Wlochaty's just going to use the spar troop in combination with the 250/1 half track to pick up some big kills on this southern side. Excuse me, apologies for that. So the off map coming down onto this northern town. A lot of units here, but I think it's just a bit too far forward there. Not quite getting the infantry right in the back, but they go down a transport vehicle there. The M5 losing out to the Bavarians. So many kills from the short range anti-tank grenades today. Absolute superb play from Wlochaty. But Solo and Pixy does still have a +1 right now. We'll get the victory in 26 minutes time. Really needs to defend well through phase B, and potentially the game is still his. The Chart M4A2 just take up a nice position overlooking the road, but is now going to move forward. Ooh, no, I thought he was going to move into position where that Bavarians was, but Solo and Pixy backs off from that position, and look at this half track going in for the surrender. Potentially should pick that one up. I think he's very unlucky now not to be picked up that surrender. Oh, no, the KM Führer is just in range. So in Pixy does spot that and does stop firing on that KM Führer. I'd like a mortar or some kind of other artillery to come in. The OP off map I think has gone down. Is this it here? I think this is the OP off map there. Well, no, that was the earlier M5. The off map must have gone down at some point. And Wlochaty is now making a move on this southern side. He's going to find not much resistance at all, and I feel like that southern side is open for the taking right now from Wlochaty. Potentially that could be the springboard for his resurgence in phase B. Back to a 0-0, but the victory Tick, or should I say Solo and Pixy, has got enough points to get a victory in 24 minutes. Nice pin onto the Bavarians, but the ROA coming to range do get the kill there onto the half track. They have the Faustpatron with 150 meters range, so that Faustpatron bit more deadly than the 100-meter range of the Bavarian's AT grenade. And the Marder 1 in fantastic position across this airfield. I feel like Wlochaty has a combination of arms on this airfield to really punish Soloing Pixy. The infantry, the understrength infantry has gone down. It was the Nueve from the start, and Wlochaty picks up a +1. Soloing Pixy has to immediately reinforce this airfield and southern side, which is going to hurt him because he is under attack in the central area, and he's trying to hold on in the north as well. The Chart M4A2 taking on the Panzer IV-H does get a crew knockout, gives him another shot, and that's the track's wheels destroyed. That Panzer IV-H should go down now. Does survive one more chance. Oh, look at that, a half track does get in for the surrenders, but shouldn't pick up the second one. There is the Fuhrer in place, so Solo and Pixy definitely looking for a lot of these surrenders, but then the half track does get a shot from the Marder 1, bailed out. The Panzer IV-H did go down as well to the Chart M4A2 there. Solo and Pixy not quite out of this game yet, but it is looking bleak unless he can get rid of the southern assault. I think it's looking difficult. He really needs to hold on to this southern side. If he can hold on in the south, I think potentially he can defend in the north, but there is a lot of troops in right now for Wlochaty, and it's going to look difficult. The M4A2 in a beautiful little position. Oof, that bazooka squad actually pinning down the Bavarians. They were on low strength. The Thompsons firing there at short range and do manage to take out that Bavarians, but they're only a one-man bazooka squad. They're on the front line, and they are going to go down to the ROA eventually if Solo and Pixy does not pull them back. Although the Chart M4A376 is now engaging with the 50 cal. Yes, the 50 cal. So it should potentially, yeah, the fight kind of equals as both sides infantry kind of stealths on each other. The Landesstützen and Flamers kind of standing off quite far away from each other, but the Marder 1 moving down in the southern side. All we've got down here right now is a sappers. They do have the bazooka, so the 250/1 is in a difficult spot, but there's only one man there. I feel like if Wlochaty pushes forwards with the Landesstützen and the ROA, he does have to contend with that TM5, but I feel like the Marder 1's just going to push forward ever so slightly and be in range to take some shots at that M5 half track. The northern side got mortars coming down, actually pinning down his own Fuhrer there, so Wlochaty not quite on top of his micro in that case. Potentially he did move up there and take some infantry out. Another half track goes down to the bazooka of the ROA, and Wlochaty's picking up a number of kills from his infantry anti-tank weaponry, and I feel like he has made so many kills with those infantry anti-tank weaponry that if he hadn't, Solo and Pixy would be a much stronger position right now. But as it stands, Wlochaty does have a +1 and is now getting the victory tick over Solo and Pixy, and will win the game in 21 minutes time unless Solo and Pixy can somehow recover this game. We've got an Obusier M4A3, which does have the 1,200 meter range, but also got to be careful. There is a Pak 40 in here at the moment. It looks like it's lining up for the shots onto the M4A3. The M4A3 does get the first shot in on the Pak 40. This is tough. Surely, yeah, Solo and Pixy has to get the M4A3 Obusier involved immediately to try and help pin down that Pak 40. He's playing with fire right now, but potentially one more shot. Ooh, crew knockout. Needs to get this M4A3 in here immediately onto that Pak 40, because it's got free reign on the Char M4A3 right now. Wow, this is so tight. Will that Pak 40 get one more shot in? Potentially it could be the killing blow, but the Marder 1 now getting engaged, engaging. The Pak 40 is pinned down, the Marder 1 engaging the Obusier, but the Obusier actually can do a decent job against the Marder 1, being it an open top vehicle. I'd like to see the M4A3 remicro onto that Marder 1 right now. The Pak 40 is pinned down, but yeah, it does miss that shot as well. And we have got a Panther G on its way into the centre ground, and that's really going to make things difficult for soloing Pixy on this southern side. I think he's going to really struggle to take down that Panther G. And look at this, the Pak 40. Very close range shot potentially on the M4A2. The M4A2 is reversing, but that Pak 40 is going to get the attempt. Wow, Soloing Pixy has the off map in place from the M4A2 155mm off map that he has brought in. The chart M4A2 somehow yes, the Pak 40 must have got a weapons jam in there. Didn't quite see it because of the text. Wow, and a critical ammo explosion. Good night, Sherman. Oh, but the Pak 40 does go down to the off map. Does go down to the off map, and a number of troops are caught in that off map. But I feel like, look at the ROA as well. They're actually falling back into the claws of the bazooka, but that bazooka's only got 2 Thompsons, so it will take a long time to get that damage. I don't know whether it can get the surrender off. I don't think it can, because actually that bazooka's in enemy lines, so we'll not get the surrender off. Let's have a look. The Marder 1 did survive. The Pak 40 did go down. M4A3 and M4A2 in the centre ground, but we have got a Panther G in here now, and they are going to have a mighty difficult time penetrating that Panther G. I feel like at the moment the only way Soloing Pixy is going to beat this Panther G is through air support, but he is backing off. He needs those planes to come in ASAP to be able to at least stun up the Panther G and allow the M4A2, M4A3 to make some ground and engage at close range. I feel like that's the only way right now that or the simplest way that Soloing Pixy can take out that Panther G. He has got enough troops down here to deal with the infantry, so potentially a resurgent Soloing Pixy in the southern side, but Wlochaty has still got the +1. We'll win the game in 17 minutes time. I think it's all going to become well, it's going to come down to 2 factors: this northern side and then the Panther G engaging the M4A3. The M4A3 is not going to win out at that range, cannot really penetrate the Panther G at max range, and it is in trouble. Needs to back off ASAP. We need some aircraft in here, I think, from Soloing Pixy. And there is a second Panther G on the field. Things are going to be tough. And here comes the anti-air. Perfect response from Wlochaty, covering off against the potential air attack, which is very likely to come in. I mean, as soon as we saw that Panther G, I was calling for some air. Down goes the M4A2 at the top side of the airfield. Panther G's fast moving down the airfield, and I feel like this centre ground is in massive trouble right now. Unless Soloing Pixy pulls something massive out of the bag, well, this M4A3 is reversing, showing side armour to that Panther G. If that Panther G engages, that M4A3 is going to have a bad time. I don't think Wlochaty has noticed, probably microing on the northern side. Wow, no, the BEF Panzer, both of them stop, but the M4A3 does also turn frontal armour. Here comes the air attack, and we have got a Lightning, P-38 Lightning with the heavier bombs. Does at least fall back the Panther G, but down goes the M4A3. That was what I was calling for, a big heavy bomber to come in and at least put pressure onto the Panther G, but Wlochaty covered off against that expertly well with the second Panther and also the incoming anti-air. And I feel like, yeah, down goes the Obusier M4A3, I believe, and Soloing Pixy completely lost hold of this central airfield. He's going to have it really difficult. Potentially he's going to need to rebuild completely, bring in an AT gun into this little patch of trees here. But Wlochaty has the +2. There's 15 minutes on the clock, and Soloing Pixy is going to find it very, very difficult to defend right now. The flak 36 37mm is unloaded. We've got recon coming on. We've got everything coming into this airfield. Look at this. Wlochaty is sensing blood. Absolutely everything going in there. You can see the territory swing to his advantage, and he is going to take full advantage of that, pushing forward the Panther G's and the Panther, the BEF Panther, along with a supporting Marder 1. And he's looking for the +3 right now. I think it's enough. We did miss some of the action up north, and actually a lot of infantry's gone down for Wlochaty, but he still has an advantage over Solo Winged Pixy, and it's possible that Solo Winged Pixy may well be out of infantry at this point as well. He had no phase C infantry in his deck, so there is potential that Solo Winged Pixy is out of infantry. Nothing else coming in for Solo Winged Pixy right now. We now have an M4A3 coming in to potentially hold the centre ground, but look at the territory that Wlochaty has gained. +3 right now, victory in 10 minutes time. The sappers are going to go down. That's going to be more territory for Wlochaty as soon as the sappers in the very south are revealed as well. Half track, look at the half track pushing forward, trying to seize the spawn of Solo Winged Pixy. I feel like this is the final breakthrough from Wlochaty. He held that, he really pushed back against Solo Winged Pixy in the northern side very well. Solo Winged Pixy on the back foot from the very start in that northern area does surrender the game. 25 minutes, 59 seconds. Congratulations to Wlochaty. Commiserations to Solo Winged Pixy. Wlochaty picks up the victory on Carpiquet. 2,400 points to 1,200 losses. That's a 2-to-1 kill ratio and well-deserved victory for Wlochaty. Once again proving he is an absolute master at the close range infantry, small squad infantry micro. We remember him being such a master in Normandy when we were originally playing that, and I remember watching him in the Steel Division League, and if you wanted to learn about infantry micro, you watched Wlochaty play, and he certainly proved he hasn't lost any of that skill since the move onto Steel Division 2. And I actually feel like some of the we didn't see a lot from Wlochaty in Steel Division 2 League. We saw him play against Gonzo. He did lose that game early on, and I feel like the move to Steel Division 2 with the increase in scale, number of units, really hurt Wlochaty, because he was a master at sort of using a small number of units to their absolute most efficient, you know, just gaining so much efficiency from just such a small number of units, especially with infantry. And with the move to larger scales, that kind of ability was really diminished in Steel Division 2. So it's great to see Wlochaty back in action at his absolute best. Fantastic game. Let's have a look at the kills for Wlochaty. This Puma at the very start of the game, I mean, it's got the AM M8 Sparhy kill and 3 half tracks, but I feel like it did a better job. I feel like this kill list doesn't quite show how much presence that Puma had on the northern side. I feel like without that Puma, Solo Winged Pixy would have been able to use his vehicles a lot more advantageously and pick up a lot more surrenders there. But that Puma just stuck around for the most of Phase A, and really Solo Winged Pixy struggled to deal with it. Fantastic micro from Wlochaty. That Puma did a great job early on. Let's have a look at the Bavarians. Some nice kills there. The Chart M5A1 with that Bavarians AT grenade. Nice job with that kill. And the Panzerjäger 35R, again, not necessarily a fantastic unit, but microed so well to take out such a number of hard tracks, as well as the off-map 155mm Sherman there. I think that off-map potentially did use all of its off-map artillery charges, but still a nice kill from the Panzerjäger 35R. The IG-18 picked up the Cannon 57mm and an AM M8 Sparhy, so nice job from that IG-18. The Marder 1 that came into the airfield on the southern side and really put pressure in that southern area. The 50mm mortars as well. Wlochaty relied on these small mortars from the start and did a great job. The Pack 40, I think that's the one in the northern side. 2 M4A2 kills, very nice job. And a Pack 40, I think that's potentially in the central area, that did a great job. But once these Panthers came in, I think Solo Winged Pixy had to react very quickly but unfortunately Wlochaty was able to bring in enough units, the Panther G, the supporting BEF Panther, and the anti-air, to really limit the kind of response that Solar Wing Pixy would have been able to put together. Let's have a look at the kills for Solar Wing Pixy. The AM-M8 did get the Puma kill in the end, as well as an IG-18 kill, so potentially these two may have killed each other. I think we did see an IG-18 did get an M8 kill, I think. It's possible. The most of the infantry only traded 1 for 1, which will really be an advantage to Festung Gros Paris, because the French, they really struggle with infantry, so Wlochaty did a great job of taking out infantry. The Chart M4AT did take out a Panzerjäger 35R and did a decent job. Also, the Chart M4A2 down here took out the Panhard and the Panzer 4H. The off-map getting the Pak 40 kill, but that Pak 40, I think just before that, did get the M4A2 kill. And really nothing major that stands out. So, yeah, I think Solar Wing Pixy was caught on the back foot by... all of the focus in Phase A was on that northern side, and I think Solar Wing Pixy should have switched focus to the airfield earlier. Recognised that Wlochaty had a lot of his units up there. Solar Wing Pixy had the income advantage in Phase A, and I would have liked to have seen an M4 Sherman in that central airfield area, really putting pressure onto Wlochaty. I think that would have made Wlochaty reinforce that airfield earlier and, you know, take pressure off Solar Wing Pixy in the north and allow Solar Wing Pixy potential to advance in that north. But as it was, Solar Wing Pixy really just concentrated on the north, and that allowed Wlochaty to just pour in reinforcement after reinforcement into that northern side, and that allowed Wlochaty just to focus on one spot, perfect his micro and get the kills. Right, that is all that we have for today. Wlochaty does pick up the first victory, but this final is a best of 3, so we will have at least one more game. So look forward to that game tomorrow. Solar Wing Pixy will have the chance to potentially get a game back and equal the game, taking it to a tiebreaker, or potentially Wlochaty could win the second game and he could well be crowned the Normandy 44 Christmas Cup champion. Find out tomorrow. I am Angry Bird. I will see you next time.